Hello, hello, hello. Marietta here, back with another video. Y'all know I had to come outside and take a break and just get some fresh air. Been inside working with my son. He's resting right now. But today is his birthday, but he's not feeling well. So y'all keep him in your prayers. But as I got to thinking about something I wanted to share with y'all about the home buying process at this time and what it looked like now to even what it looked like at back in 2021 when I was trying to look for a house in North Carolina. I was trying to purchase a home in North Carolina. I actually looked at several homes in North Carolina. But what I found out about the home buying process, even then, it was just about impossible to even buy a home. We were truly been priced out for a mighty long time. You got a lot of investors that are buying up a lot of your private homes. Like when you could go get a home, remember you could get a home for 180, you can get a home for 85,000, 150,000, 110,000. It was the good old days. Now it just seems like you can't get a home, period. And the reason being is because the investors are buying up all the property, so therefore they're monopolizing on everything that's out there. So that's leaving you with no other choice but to be forced into a rental. And now you're being forced out of the rental. So now you're being forced and put in a box where there's really no place for you to go. And it just seems like it's really weird to a lot of people. But yet when you think about it, you can see how planned and orchestrated this situation has been, where money, greed, and power starts to take over. And you don't know how to maneuver because you can't play in this game of high stakes of what they got on the table. I mean, you're talking about big billion-dollar companies coming in, buying up all the real estate. And they're buying up all the real estate. They don't care if it's, they don't see, the thing about it is when we go buy, we need due diligence period. We need inspection. We need 30 days, all of that. No, they don't need all that. They buying them places as is, where it is, on the spot. The minute they see something that comes available, they could not care less about what condition it's in or any of that. They're just going to buy it up, fix it as they go. Because 9 times out of 10, they got their own team, their own crew of people that do the work for them, so they can afford all of that. Where we as normal people, we cannot afford to take a chance on our last dollar by buying something that's about ready to fall apart. Could be mold infested, could have water damage, could have electrical issues, could be termite eaten. You got to go down the list of lines to look at these properties very well, where they can go in and buy them and gut them and remodel them and put somebody in them, and it looks like they're doing it overnight. So when you think about Wall Street investors' money compared to your few dollars that you have worked for all your life, which I ain't diminishing that, because that's a lot to us that have put in that work, who have actually sacrificed and scrimped and saved and try to do the best we can to be able to afford something decent to live in. And then you look up one morning, you in your car, and you're wondering to yourself, how did this happen? How did this happen? So many people are waking up in RVs, waking up in cars, waking up on the side of the road, waking up in places that they never thought, they never dreamed. And I'm talking about people that have worked hard all their life. They're waking up with job loss, where they thought that they were going to retire from these jobs and be able to live a good life and drive the car they want to drive and live in the home they want to live in. Starter homes are no more. There's no more starter homes. Before, you could buy a starter home and you could say, well, okay, I'm going to buy this house for a little bit, and then 85,000, because that's exactly what I paid for the house that I sold in Delaware, $85,000. But by the time I sold it, I made a profit on it, because of course, once you fix it up and you flip it, you're going to make a profit. But right about now, these people are buying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over the limit, because that's what they were doing back in 2021. The reason why I could not get a house in North Carolina, and I'm glad I didn't. God knows I'm glad that God put me where he wanted me to be, because he put me right on this property right here where it's affordable. Even though I got talked down to because of the fact that, oh, she buying a trailer, as if it wasn't a decent enough place for me and my son to live. But yet and still, I sold the stick-built house that I have in Delaware because I wanted to leave. I wanted to move. I wanted a better life for myself, and I wanted to get where I would feel more comfortable. And I do feel very comfortable here opposed to where I was. So I just thank God for that. I thank God for how he moved in my behalf. But for everybody and anybody that's out there looking for a place and you're going crazy because you're wondering why you cannot find a place, why you can't find a place to buy, and that's the reason why, because the big corporations have more money than you. The big corporations have more buying power, so therefore they can and they got more time than you. They can buy that place today and let it set for Lord knows how long while they work on it and fix it up, or they can either and they can turn right around and raise the rent and put somebody in it as is, where it is, just to rent it out. And a lot of times they do rent them out, but they rent them out and they don't do a whole bunch of maintenance. They do the bare minimum maintenance for them, depending on what area it's in, for what they want to rent them for. And I saw a lot of that when I was looking for places in North Carolina, because some of them, I just went to look at them when I got there. I didn't even want to buy them after I got there. They were just pure garbage, and they still wanted $200,000, $150,000. I mean, $250,000, $230,000, like that. So I already knew that the pool was garbage even at then, and that people were going to get maxed out of their living conditions. You never have no way to know that it's going to be how bad it's going to be. But when you're dealing with money, power, and greed, you can expect the worst. You hope for the best, but you always expect the worst. Why? Because when you're dealing with people that have no heart, they don't care nothing about your living conditions or your family or where you're going to live at, they already know that most people cannot afford a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house, especially in this economy. They cannot afford it. This is why they're trying to get rid of these homes. But single family homes, first-time home buyers, that's their target. They're buying up all of those because that'll keep you from buying a house. That as soon as somebody jump out of one, they dead on it. They are on it. And they're willing to pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking price. Why? Because they know they can make that money up very quickly, and then they know that you can't afford that. They know you as a natural buyer cannot afford that. So you go into a bidding war, and then they will bid you out. They will completely bid you out to the point where you would not be able to stay in the game. And this is why I understand the fact of how God works and how God put me in this position right here, because every house that I applied for in North Carolina, there was a bidding war. Every house I applied for in North Carolina, I could not get. Every house I applied for in North Carolina, it sold $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 more than what the asking price was. So there was no way I could win in a pool like that. The story that the real estate agent gave me was that because that was a military area, that the military was buying up all the properties there. But then after everything that went on there in the last few years, I thank God that God saw my efforts and he didn't place me and my son in that situation, because I just did not know that things were going to take a turn like that. And I was trying to get away from the snow, thinking that it didn't snow as bad in North Carolina. Of course, it does snow even there and even here too, because people were telling me it didn't snow down here in South Carolina, but the devil is a liar. I've seen snow since I've been down here. But in the same respect, you got people that are wondering why they're being priced out, why their money won't buy a stick-built house. This is why I keep trying to tell y'all, if you look into buying yourself a manufactured home, you may be able to afford that, but you got to get land for it first. You got to secure the deal. You got to go all out and get the land and the home, which may cost you a little more. That's why people don't understand how your name, your credit is everything. It is everything in this market, because being priced out of your very town that you have been born and raised in, being priced out of the city that you have been raised in, to some it's scary. To some, it's tragic. It's trauma. It's bringing trauma to their life because they're not used to living like this. So you got them running around, got whole families that are sleeping in cars, husband, wives, and the children, all sleeping together in one vehicle, trying to figure out how they're going to make it, where the next meal is coming from. But when you're dealing with these housing market, you could pull up to a yard and you could look at that house and see that back in the day, you could have gotten that house for $60,000. My brother bought a house back in the day for $55,000. Today, it's worth well over $200,000. And he bought it. He's had it like 15, maybe 20 years, I think. But he paid $55,000 for that house, remodeled it, and been renting it out off and on ever since, making good money. And see, but right now, the rent is so high. That's a 3-bedroom house. So they can get top dollar for these places now. And he owns about 3 or 4 of them. But see, back then, we never would have thought that this was going to go happen like this, because back then, people were still living payday to payday. Some of us were still living payday to payday because it's not designed for you to prosper with stuff. Some people, it's just not designed for you to prosper with stuff. It's just not. It's just not. No matter how many jobs you had, no matter how much money came through your fingers, you can count the time that you had numerous amounts of money, and you look back on all the money that you spent. It ain't that you ain't had no money come through your hands. It's just the fact that the money did not do what you thought it should have done, or you didn't do with it what you thought you should have did with it then, but you enjoyed it. It was yours. But the housing market right now, what's driving you crazy right now is you're wondering why. A lot of you are asking the questions why. I hear you online asking why. The reason being is because greed done took over. Greed done took over. People are out here playing Monopoly because they got the money to play. You know the game Monopoly where you want to buy Park Place? They actually buying Park Place. That's at the top. That's at the top. And a lot of them out here buying up everything. As soon as a single family leave a house, they jump right out of it. And if they can talk your landlord into selling them that house, they'll buy it out from under you and put you out of it. This is exactly what's happening in the world today. Money, greed, and power is taking over, and these large investors are coming in, and that's why you see all these signs around saying, I will buy your house. I will buy your house cash. But a lot of them are trying to lowball you out of your house, and me and my brothers have dealt with some of them too. They'll say, I'll buy your house, but when it comes to buy your house, they want to make a big profit on your house, so they'll act like you got to sell it, or act like you beneath them, or act like, and you ain't even really asked them. You just wanted to check and see exactly what they're willing to pay, just so you can see exactly how big a fool they think you are to sell that piece of property. And a lot of them are not selling. A lot of them are not selling. They just keeping their property and they living in it, staying on it for years and years and years. And then you might bust a back road and you look around and you see a lot of properties. But see, location also is everything. If you way back there in the woods and you stuck way back there in a corner where there's no traffic, there's no stores, there's no nothing but wilderness, swamp area, whatever, oh, they ain't gonna bother you. But if you living in that city and you in a neighborhood in a city where they can come to Charlotte, or they can come to Charleston and they can buy that waterfront property or buy that property out from under you, oh, please believe they're going to figure out a way that they can get you out of it, even if they got to raise the taxes on it so that you can't afford to be there, because they already done sized you up from the beginning when they see the property out there. So therefore, this is why a lot of people are losing their properties. I see a lot of this every day online. I see a lot of it. I've talked to people that have gone through it. Like I said, my brother's a landlord. He tells me a lot of things as he goes on in the business, and it is just that. It is a business. It truly is a business. People are out to get the money that they need to get for their things, whether they rent it to you or not. So this is why you cannot find yourself a single family home as you're out here looking that's affordable, and you feel like if you feel like you're being priced out, you truly have been. It's not you're being priced out. You have been priced out, because everything and anything that comes available, these corporations, they want that home. They want that home. They could care less. Anytime I told y'all, they coming even for the trailer parks. The trailer parks, the reason why they coming for the trailer parks is because they know you ain't got no place to put that trailer. If you've been living in a trailer park for years and the trailer park decides they want to sell that ground, and you don't come up with whatever it is, whatever the negotiation is between you and the new landlord that buys that ground, you may have to find yourself a place to put your mobile home, and you may have to move out of there, or the lot rent could go up. Lot rent is now the next thing they're after. I said that in another last video I did. Lot rents are going up because they're after them lots now. So you got to realize this right now is nothing that we can do, nothing we can fix, nothing that we can, because even when they buy all these places and they put them up for rent, they're actually making them so still that you cannot afford them. I mean, who got $3,000 first month, last month, third month rent to get in there? That means $3,000, 3 times the rent to walking in the door. That means you're going to have at least I can't say it, $9,000-$10,000 to walk through the door, $5,000-$6,000 to walk through a door of a unit. Come on, somebody. I mean, this is actually getting to be ridiculous. It's getting to be ridiculous. So that means instead of everybody owning their own home, or everybody living by themselves, those that you know that don't own their own home, you may have to begin to share your home with your family members, with some of your friends. But make sure, like I said, the problem with that is these people have been living on their own. They've been doing things their own way, and they don't understand that coming into your house means that you came in to help to pay the bills. You came in to actually be a tenant in that house, and they may take you through so much hell to the point where people are just afraid to even do that. I've talked to so many people that say they will not allow nobody to come live in their house with them because of the fact that they don't want to go through that problem, and they've been to have so much peace in their house. But when it comes down to the home buying process, when I was looking for a home in South Carolina back in 2021, everything that's happening now was happening then. You couldn't buy a house then. I know I put in for at least 25, 30 houses in North Carolina and did not get nigh one of them. Every single one of them went into a bidding war. The thing I know about God, when God puts you in a place, you don't have to go through that. I didn't have to go through no bidding war to get this place. I did not have to fight with nobody to get this place. I did not have to stand in line to get it. None of that. It was just when God gave it to me, it was just sitting there waiting for me to come and get, and that's what I did. I came and got my blessing. So some of y'all got got to be willing and ready and able to come and get your blessing. Even if you got to move out from around your kin folks and be out in a wilderness place where you may be out there by yourself, far as none of your immediate family or friends, but sometimes that's the best way to be. You're starting all over. You're getting a fresh start. It's between you and God. This is not a you thing, a me thing. It's a God thing. And when God finds you that thing, you don't have to worry about fighting nobody over it. You don't have to worry about standing in line over it. You don't have to worry about going into no bidding war. It's just simple as that. But in the meantime, while y'all out here, you're going to have to learn how to work together. That's going to be the biggest thing of who succeeds and who don't succeed. Is working together. Because I know several people that's got 3 or 4 extra bedrooms in their home, and they are looking to rent those bedrooms out. But the thing about it is, it's dangerous who you rent these bedrooms out to. You got to be careful. You really got to be careful. Because like I said, you don't want nobody in your house to interrupt your peace. And then sometimes you put people in your house, it's hard for you to get them people out of your house. Especially if they come in with the wrong frame of mind. Now, I know some people that have rented rooms to people, and when the people got ready to leave, they were so nice, they were so quiet, they were so calm, they never invited nobody else to the house, they paid their rent on time, they kept their area clean, they got up and went to work, they came home, they were quiet when they was in the house, they didn't make a whole bunch of noise, they came and went, and by the time they would get ready to go, they had stacked up enough money to be able to go on their own. They were respectful when they left, they made sure they cleaned the room from top to bottom. The people didn't even really want them to leave because they were so helpful around the house as well. And see, those are the kind of tenants that are hard to find. Those are the kind of tenants that everybody would love to have. Those that understand what it is because they live like you live. They live that peaceful life, just like me. I don't be doing a whole lot. I don't want a whole bunch of noise. I don't want a whole bunch of people running in and out of my house. I like to go to bed at a certain time. I'm already setting my ways. I like my house peaceful. And see, that having somebody come in that's loud and ignorant and arrogant would break my peace. That would really truly break my peace. So that would break the peace in my house. So that's hard for me. And then my son, like I said, it would have to be somebody who I would really truly trust around my son, because my son does not speak well and he's 100% autistic, and I don't want to put him in any harm nor danger because, like I said, I've had him since he was 8 years old, and I just love being a mother to him and taking care of him. And today is his 17th birthday, and he's been doing fine on his own. So I want to make sure that if I did bring anybody here and rented a room to somebody, I'd have to make sure that they were safe. Oh yeah, they would have to be safe. But you never know. That's why I leave Mike there. That's why I got to protect my son at all costs. So with that being said, I hope that helps, and realize it's not you. If you think you're being priced out, you are being priced out. If you want to know the reason why you cannot buy anything at this time, is because the investors are coming in, they're buying everything. As soon as they go on the market, they're scraping it up. As soon as they go on the market, they have already put their bids in for it, and they will fight you to the last living dime for it. And if you are the person that's selling a home right now, they always tell you, now I'm going to tell y'all this too. They'll always tell you, you can't put that house at a price that's higher than what the neighborhood is. But that they can, okay? When I got ready to sell my house, they try to tell me that old foolishness, but God had already spoke to me and told me where my house should be sold at, what price it should be sold at, and it sold right at that price, right at the price it should be sold at. And I'm gonna leave that right there, because I did have a realtor who said, "Oh, we can't price it like that. That's not how this works. That's not how you work." Like I said, I walk by faith and not by sight, and I'm not gonna let nobody trick me out my spot. That's for sure. And I'm not gonna let nobody trick me out of the money that I put into my home, and I not get what I deserve out of something that I already own. So if you already own it, know what your house is worth, know what you're willing to take for it, make sure you do your homework, and make sure that you settle for nothing less than what you deserve. So I love y'all, and I hope this video helps somebody. But this is not something that you did. This is not something that you can fix. This is not even a ballpark that you could play in, because these boys that's playing this game, or these girls that's playing these games, they're some high rollers and they're playing high stakes. When you're dealing with Wall Street, you cannot outbeat them. You can outrun them. You cannot outprice them. You cannot outbid them. So make sure that you understand that when you're in a bidding war and you look and it's already $10,000, $15,000 over your limit, don't let them push you out there to the point where you're upside down before you even buy the place. So with that being said, I love y'all. I hope this video will help somebody in their task to buy a home, or better yet, I hope it will make you understand why you cannot get a home at this time, and why it looks like your credit is good, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but yet every time you go to apply for a house, or every time you go, you're getting priced out, or you're getting into a bidding war, and you always find out that you were not accepted. Don't take it personal. It's not you, it's business. All right, I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. if you're not subscribed to the channel. We like to uplift, motivate, and inspire over here. So with that being said, hit that notification bell so you will be notified when I drop my next video. But now, my time is up. Be blessed.